Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I have kind of a bigger video to share. I'm starting with a funky floral painting because I got some requests if I can make a tutorial on how I paint my loose watercolor flowers. And the ones I'm painting today are kind of a bit different. They are a bit more colorful and have many layers, but they are super easy to recreate. I'm starting the flowers with watercolor pencils. I'm using the Derwent Inktense pencils. They are ink pencils and a little bit different to normal watercolor pencils as they dry permanent, but that's not important for this project. I just love their intensity and their high pigmentation. And what I'm doing, I'm just sketching out a loose floral. I recommend that you use any kind of reference photo so you have a little bit of an idea in mind where to put a petal and where not. And I just keep it very loose. I use the pencil right at the end, and I am not going for super detailed work. What I've used here also is a water-soluble graphite pencil. I'm sketching the whole arrangement with those watercolor pencils first, and then I will go in with the watercolors. I will speed the process up a little bit so that the video doesn't get too long. When I'm done with the flower painting, I will use these flowers in my art journal as a collage element. And as it's Friday, there is a new printable available on my website. It's totally for free and there is no need to sign up to any newsletter. And guess what it is? I added those flowers and another set of flowers so you can print them out and use them directly in your art journal. So there is no need to paint the flowers if this is not your thing. If you love to just collage and play in your art journal, then you can just use the digital flowers and print them and use them in your journal. When I'm done with sketching, I go in with some colors. And what I'm doing here, I'm playing really slow and I'm only using light colors. I use water and dip in some color. And I just play with my stash and try out the paints I have, and it's a very great way to explore the colors you have in your palette and which combinations you like. And I pick many different colors because I want to create very colorful flowers. The watercolors I'm using is a mixed palette I've made myself, and the colors that are in here are from Schminke, from Van Gogh, from Rose Gallery, and also from Mijello Mission Gold. And I have one color from Sennelier, and this is the Quinacridone Gold. Because of the length of the video, I will speed up this process soon, but I just want you to know that when you're looking at me painting while you are painting, then you maybe have to slow down the speed. You can do this in the settings of the YouTube video, because you may paint as fast as I do in the speed up and the result will not be the same, and also the process will not be as relaxing as it is in real. As always, I have linked up the blog post for this project where you will find photos of the flowers and also of the finished art journal page. If it's possible, I will set a link to the starting point of the art journaling part in the video description. And I think for these flowers I'm painting here, there is no real need to be a professional or intermediate watercolor artist, I think it's a good thing to do as a beginner, because you can't do anything wrong finally. What I recommend is starting with lighter colors, so it means you have added more water to the pigments before you go in with the more intense colors. And you see what I'm doing, I just dip in different colors to the petals and to the leaves, and I'm not going for realism. While the colors are still wet, I go in with the watercolor pencils and the graphite pencil, and I also from time to time dip the nib of the pencils into water to get more of their pigment, and I just scribble in some doodly lines around the flowers to give them a contour and more contrast and more details. And this is also something I'm doing very loose and not precise and just in a doodly way. And I think that's the point, that's relaxing, because you don't have the pressure to create something that is perfect or that is realistic. You just can create without any goal and without any way you have to work in. It's just relaxing. And one thing I love about that is that I can use my watercolors and I can explore the art supplies I have, and I can try out what matches and what doesn't, and what works good together and what not. You always get more vibrancy in a painting when you add some splatters, so I'm also adding some splatters with the same colors I've used already on the flowers. I also go in with the watercolor pencils again and make some marks and add some tiny patterns to the flowers. This makes them look even more interesting and special. I am done with that flower painting, and now we will start our art journal page. I have cut the arrangement into 2 pieces that I want to use in my art journal. I'm working in my handmade junk art journal, and I just go through the pages and have a look where the flowers maybe fit better and where not. I picked out a page, and then I'm going through my stash of my under papers. I use those to lay them under the pages when I'm painting, or I use them to clean my tools and to apply leftover paint. And now I just search for a good color that matches the flowers, and I will add some pieces as collage elements. I use a glue stick to adhere the papers. I now lay the flowers on my page to see how I want to arrange them, and I also pick some of my printables that you will also find over on my website, and I will cut these down and add them also to the page. When I'm not sure where to add the elements, I just lay them in different positions, and then I have a peek through my camera, because the view through the camera is totally different than when you look directly on your page. And I decided to cut the circle in half, and I want to have some stitching on the circles, and as I'm always too lazy to pull out my sewing machine, I just use the stitching borders from the new mixed media mark stamp set from Rubber Dance. I also think that I need some of that old book paper I have already on the right side, because it's the page itself on the left, so that everything looks more cohesive. So I'm adding also some of the old book paper. I adhered 2 more half circles from the printables to the left side, and I will also add the stitching stamp to them. To blend the background a little bit more, I go in with some gesso, and I'm using the heavy gesso because it's more opaque than the normal gesso, and I just apply it with a palette knife. And I don't cover everything up, I just add it a little bit so that everything looks as one page. I stopped my camera because of the drying process, and then I forgot to restart it, unfortunately. What I've done is I've added the acrylic paint and Prussian blue from Amsterdam just with my fingers and a little bit of water, and I created kind of a stamp pad on a sheet of paper, and where I dipped in the grungy circle stamps from rubber dance and then stamped this to the page as well. I'm laying my flowers on top to see if I need some more color in some areas, and I decided to go in with a little bit more of that Prussian blue. I dried that quickly with my heat tool, and before I glue the flowers down, I add some writing with a white Uniposca marker. I also used the glue stick to adhere the flowers to the page, and to finish it up I will add a word that says inspire, and it's embossed in white to black cardstock, and I just cut that out and adhere it to the page to finish it up. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope we see us next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!